All right, we are officially live. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of Spread This Witches. So glad to have you guys here and welcome. And if you are new, I want to give a special shout out to you. Welcome to hopefully your new home for all things witchy, amazing, and tarot and divination and just everything that we can. We want to give you a nice warm welcome hug. And if you are a regular, welcome back. We are so glad to have you. I want to introduce my beautiful co-host first. Well, first of all, my name is Chase, 2 L's. And with us is the leading lady of Ritual Tarot, Miss Avalon. And then and we also have our own sorceress, the sorceress of the pagan yellow pages, Allorah Rain.
Hey!
And I want to introduce our special guest. I am so beyond excited. Like this is where my tarot journey started. Really my spiritual journey, even beyond tarot, started with this wonderful, amazing woman. And I would love to introduce to you the amazing Arwen Lynch. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Arwen, the professional joy seeker, professional tarot reader, and author. And I really love talking, so I'm super happy to be here. And I can't wait to see what these crazy witches have cooked up for me.
We have so much good things planned for you. I can honestly tell you that we had like a special meetup yesterday, like a little live, not recorded, or actually we did record it for outtakes. Beyond the point. Like we had a special meetup so that we could make this extra special for you. So I hope that you are ready. And just know that what's coming later may have something to do with the fact that you are the Barbara Walters of YouTube. Maybe. So with that said, I want to go ahead and put out there that today we have so many announcements. We are going to blow your minds. We have so much good stuff coming and we are so excited to bring it all to you. And all the changes that we're making and all the things that we are bringing to you guys, we want to be extremely community driven and with you guys in mind. So with that said, make sure that you watch to the very end because our biggest announcements, we'll be making announcements throughout. So you want to make sure that you're here for all of them. So we started last episode where we did kind of like a news section of new things coming and things of that nature. So we're going to spend this time in our news section. Instead of talking about new things other people are doing, we're going to be kind of selfish and we're going to talk about ourselves because we want to share with you all of the things that we are bringing to you. And I'm actually going to let Allorah kick that off.
All right. So if you guys have been watching the Spread This Witches page, I have been letting out little hints here and there of what's coming. But we are, and when I say we, I'm talking about STW, the 3 of us. We are coming out with a website, and it's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited. There have been many, many, many nights up until 4 a.m. working on this. And you guys are going to get to be a huge part of it. And something else that I wanted to talk about with the website, we are actually having tarot awards this year for STW, and that is going to be on there as well. You will get to vote. Anybody can vote. And we've basically constructed a committee of people who have been in the tarot online community for some time who will pick the nominees. There will be 12 nominees per category. And so you guys get the final vote. The other thing that I wanted to tell you guys real quick is Nico from Scarlet Moon. He has a take-home tarot course that he's launching July 1st. So if you know him, or if you're a fan of him, or if you don't know him, check him out. That's on his website, intuitivemysticism.com. But yeah, the website is the biggest news from us that I have to tell you guys, and it is so close to launch. I'm just waiting on some other people to get their pages done. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what you're talking about. I object.
I admit to nothing.
All right, your turn.
All right. So the things that I would like to talk about, we actually have a lot of things. So I, along with the Spread This Witch's website, am starting on my new endeavor, and I don't want to talk about it a whole lot because there's not a lot that's finalized yet, and I know that we have some people in our community like to steal ideas and make them their own. So I'm not going to delve into my stuff a whole lot, but just know that I have a huge piece coming as far as tarot education goes, and I'm very excited to launch that project, really finalize things probably around the fall of this year. So I'm very excited about that. And we have, so after this, or if you're good multitasking, you can do it during, but after Wednesday, we have a special that will air Wednesday at 8:30, and we're going to be talking about the ethics of tarot, and so that will be exciting. After Wednesday, we have set up our own STW YouTube channel. So again, you can do it during if you can multitask, but go out and subscribe to that because it is up and it is live and it is out there for you to join. And then along with the STW channel, what else we have? Was that all I have? I think that's all I had. So be looking for my project coming out soon, and I'm going to have tidbits of that coming out. It's going to be a very, what I would consider a very progressive look at tarot education, a very all-encompassing 360 way to educate somebody on tarot. And from there, I'm going to pass this on to Avalon.
I have a cold, that's all. No, I'm joking. The breaking news is I do have a cold, but the super breaking news is that as part of the Spread This Witches website, our little collaboration that we've got going on here, we have put together a little store, a store full of quirky, just stupidly quirky and funny tarot-based, we-based, Spread This Witches based merchandise, and this is a community endeavor as well. A good portion of that will go into community projects, and also to our very, 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 very big goal of potentially establishing a publishing house for indie artists that begin their journey here on the interwebs and that would like to get in there with some super duper passionate people. And that would be us. That would be us, our super passionate people. But we are 100% driving Spread This Witches to be this very much just yummy community-based platform in which we can connect to you, you can connect to us. This is not about fame, it's not about ego, it's about me, Allorah, Chase, wanting to talk to you specifically and prop you up. And if you're doing something amazing, then we want to hear about it. If you've got a deck coming up, then we want to hear about it. If you've created something awesome to nourish the tarot community, then we want to fucking hear about that, okay? And we can make you a little star for this day and just have a really good time in the process. But again, I have a cold. That's the most important thing. Back to you, Chase.
The most important thing is that she's sick and we should feel sorry for her. Poor Avalon. So I wanted to now pass the torch over to our wonderful, beautiful, amazing guest. So she just got done launching a book project, and I am super excited about getting my hands on this book. And I don't know if any of you guys have the book yet, but you need it. You need it. So I want her to talk and brag a little bit about that. Tell us about that a little bit, Arwen.
Well, the first thing you should know is that I have a secret life as a writer, and I am a fiction writer. I write with my best friend. We write as Mary Lou Mann. We write what is fondly called naughty romance, and it's erotica and romantica are the two terms. I know, right? Right now we don't have.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah. We pulled all our books from our former publisher and are in the process of doing some rewrites, and we're going to launch that, the fiction side of it again. We have 10 books out. And I also, because I love tarot and I love to write, I have taught an online workshop and an in-person workshop for years, probably since 2009 was the first time it went out. And it's called The Hero's Journey. The Hero's Journey is something every story has. Every good story has it. Shrek has it. Star Wars has it. The Three Little Pigs have a hero's journey. So I put together a system, and this is the book. It's called Mapping the Hero's Journey with Tarot. Finish the book in 33 days, or 33 days to finish the book. It's a pretty fucking long title, right? But it's just over 200 pages. You're going to get a walkthrough on how to write a fiction book. This is not for nonfiction. If you're looking for something to use tarot for nonfiction, I don't have it yet. But this is my baby right now. I'm pretty proud of it. I've got another book in the works on spreads. And this really marries the two sides of me, the romance author and the tarot reader. And I've had major people, names, if you read romance, names you would know, who have used this system and gotten their book moving forward. So it's just another tool. It's not the only tool for writers. That's the big thing to remember, is that your writer's toolbox should be stuffed.
I love that. I love it. So what was the initial idea to, like, what was your, like, the first seed of thought to marry the two? When did this idea come into your mind? Was it a specific event that you went through, or did it, you just literally wake up one day and was like, I'm going to do that?
No, it was Kay and I were working on a book, and the characters were being butt heads. And they were just talking to each other. And so we had like talking head syndrome, blah, 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 which is great if you like a lot of exposition. Yeah. But we're not writing Dostoevsky. We're writing contemporary romantic fiction. So it needs to move faster. And I said, well, let's pull some tarot cards and see what's happening, because I've been doing a lot of readings for an event. So I came in tarot mode. A very good Taurus, and she was like, whatever. But we did this, and it worked so well that we often will get an idea and we'll do a real quick hero's journey to kind of plot stuff out. We might do a background check spread to see what we can learn about our characters. But it was a book that was just giving us fits. We could not get these people out of talking and into bed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's a genius. And I love to as many different ways as we can get tarot out there. I love that we are showing people, I say we, you, it's nothing to do with me. But you're showing people that we can use tarot, in different ways. Isn't about, reading a fortune with it, for lack of a better phrase. But we can use it for so many other things, and it has so many applications that we can use in our everyday life. And writing a book is just one of them. I think it's a genius. Your idea is genius, ma'am. Love it.
I love it. Thank you. It's something I'm so passionate about because it works. I used to teach the workshop. I have the workshop still online, where you can go and you pay a set fee and you get 33 days worth of email. Basically, it's the book. The book has a couple more things than the class does, but it keeps you on track. And for those people who are doing NaNoWriMo, we've got Camp NaNoWriMo starting in July. But I used to teach the 33-day course. I would start it 2 days before NaNoWriMo started. And so we had the full 30 days of November, and then a day after, to keep people on track, because you have to hit 50,000 words. And that's a task for those of you who write, but as somebody said, writing is easy. You just stare at the page until blood drips from your forehead.
That's pretty accurate. So explain what NaNoWriMo is for those that may not know what that is.
NaNoWriMo is not nano. It is National Novel Writing Month. And so I always called it NaNoWriMo, but my Taurus writing partner would say it's Writing Month, Arwen. It's Rye, not Re. She's a little Hermione Granger sometimes with me. So I keep getting go. It's Wingardium Leviosa. But yeah, so it's a big deal. And in July, I think they do it in April and July. April is also National Poem Writing Month. So it's a NaPoWriMo, Naparoma. I just think it sounds like wine, and I want to go get a glass. So
There is nothing wrong with alcohol. There is always a good reason to drink. Right?
I never drink.
That is false. That is the falsest statement I've ever heard you say.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
I object. False. So tell everybody where you can get your book from, all the places that you can get it from.
you can get it from everywhere they sell decent books. If my book is not available there, it's not a decent site. How's that? No. But I've got a page set up. If you go to bit.ly, bit.ly / capital A Arwen, capital H Hero, you'll get all the links. And you can also, if you care, you can buy an autographed copy if you want. So sent out like, I had like, I don't know how many people. I ordered a bunch. I'm almost out already. So I went to the post office today and they were like, mailing a few things out. Shut up and just stamp it.
Don't ask questions. Just do your job. That's awesome.
My mail guys are good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to interject real quick because I'm a writer and I've been writing a novel for probably, let's see, I started it in 2012. So a long time, and I'm 2/3 of the way through the book. So I'm going to go get your book because maybe I'll be able to finish mine.
Well, a book I highly recommend, and I'm pretty sure I recommended this book, is if you have not read On Writing by Stephen King.
Oh, girl, I got it.
Best memoir writing craft book ever.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And it actually was sent to me by a family member who was like, your writing is so good. Read this book, write more. And I'm like, okay.
Do you know he threw away a manuscript that ended up being called, oh, I don't know, something like Carrie or something? Threw it in the garbage. And it headed down to the local convenience store to get more booze because he was drinking heavily at that point. Came back and his wife Tabitha was sitting on the floor reading it. And she said, this is good. This is really good. He said, it's crap. I don't know anything about girls in high school. She said, but I do. And I can help you with that part.
Yeah, because I mean, you probably know, like when you're writing, you're like, yeah, this is great. And then you sit back down and you read it and you're like, this is shit. And you're like, I'm just going to toss it.
Yeah. So, but it's a wonderful, wonderful book. I think that the craft of writing is amazing. 100% of the people that want to write, 10% of them finish their book. Of that 10%, 10% of those actually edit their book. Of that 10%, 10% of those submit their book. And 1% of those get accepted. It's a hard place to be. So.
Wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely
funny. I think that with writing, personally for me, I've always loved to write. I've always been the little girl with the pen and the book since very, very little. The obnoxious one. See, I'm a Taurus as well, and I'll be like, I'm going to tell on you and write this story. And then it evolved to poetry, which then evolved to sort of fiction. And especially during my teens, it was very much like uber romance. It was uber romance. Oh my God, I've got such a romantic heart. I would die of a romantic heart. I swear, this is the legitimate truth. I've got pink sparkles on the inside if you were to cut me open. It's like romance. But I let it go for a really long time, especially after my kids. And I thought, oh, I never really was a writer. I loved the idea of being a writer, but I never really was a writer. And it was my dad, who is my infinite cheerleader, who said, you've written 2 coven books for your coven. You have written, reference material and research material for every course that you've ever held. He goes, honey, you're a writer. And I'm like, and here I was thinking I was going to write these uber romances, or huge fan of Tolkien. because he created this beautiful world. And when you watch and you read and you immerse yourself in these beautiful fantasies, you just think that's what writing is. That's where I want to go with writing. But in truth, writing is everything, isn't it? You can write about music, you can write a manual, you can write, you know, a little poetry book, you can write a kid's book. You're still a fucking writer, aren't you?
Absolutely.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think all of us on this panel right now are all writers. So I think we all need the book.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
For reals.
For reals, though, I'm real excited to get my hands on it. So while we got you bragging about your goods, so Little Birdie told me, and by Little Birdie I mean your Facebook, told me that a certain particular project of yours just won an award. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, I'm thrilled. Lisa Hunt and I created the fairy tale Lenormand, which I do not have handy because I suck. Oh, no, I don't suck. That is bad. Bad, Arwen. Sorry. We won an award with the International, it's INATS, INATS, and they have a group called COVR, C-O-V-R, and they do visionary awards. And we were up against another deck. There were 2 in our category for divination product. We won the divination product vote, we won People's Choice, and we won the Retailer's Choice, which is amazing. And one of our fellow authors with US Games won the whole big shebang of Best Visionary Product of the Year, and that's Sabrina Espinette and Alison Di Nicola's mudras for Awakening the Energy Body. They have a new deck coming out and I get them confused, and I love that deck. I've used it quite frequently on my tarot scopes because it's an amazing deck. But Fairy Tale Lenormand won, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Fairy Tale Lenormand.
Yeah.
Oh my God! When you said Lisa Hunt, I'm just like,
I know.
I could hear my little unboxed Fairy Tale Tarot by Lisa Hunt going, I'm worth a lot of money. I'm worth a lot of money.
Yeah, how was it like working with her, though? I mean, that just had to have been like the most amazing, mind-blowing experience ever. I'm such a fan of hers.
Lisa Hunt is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. I mean, seriously nice. And her husband tells the worst puns in the world. He's a groaner and a half, and I adore him. But she's so super easy to work with. We would talk about the fairy tales, and her daughter, Kira, actually helped find some of the fairy tales too, because we wanted a really broad range. We didn't want just European fairy tales. We wanted from all over. So she helped us quite a bit. And just in the talking with each other, let me grab something real quick and I'll show you what I mean about her artwork. Yeah. I'm coming back, I swear.
Lisa Hunt is amazing. I'm so jelly right now.
I know,
like so
I'm
jelly.
So jealous. I know. It's not fair.
She's beautiful.
Yes.
Her winged enchantment oracle blew my mind. You think it's going to be this sweet little oracle deck, but no, it's not. It's not. It's actually really like meaty.
Oh, and I think people are missing the boat when they don't get that winged enchantment oracle. They are so missing the boat. It's one of the best because, like you said, it's meaty. You really dive deep into it. And she doesn't use. I mean, she uses like the loon, the duck, the turkey. But here's 2 pieces from. I'm now the proud owner of 2 pieces. This is Dog from the Lenormand, and this is Birds. Birds was one of our best finds. We really didn't know what to do for Birds in terms of the story. So we went and we found a tale, and Aztec, I believe. It might be Mayan. But it's about how the Quetzalcoatl got its feathers. And basically, the card, the Birds, is about communications. It can also have a backstory of gossip and negative communication. And here, the Roadrunner had the beautiful feathers, and the Quetzalcoatl wanted to be king of the birds, but couldn't because it was dull and brown. So it told the Roadrunner, let's switch our feathers out, and I'll give them back to you when I'm done. Didn't happen. So now the story is the Roadrunner runs along the side of the road looking up, calling, hoo, hoo, trying to get the Quetzalcoatl to come down and give the feathers back. And it's a wonderful story. And then the elephant is from Jakarta. It's Tales of Jakarta. And it's about an elephant who had a dog friend, and they called pariah dogs. They're a very in India they have an issue with stray dogs. So they took the stray dog and they took it away, and the elephant stopped eating because its friend was no longer there. And the dog in the Lenormand represents friendship, honesty, loyalty, devotion. So, and she gave her a little curly tail because I have a Basenji, so she got a little curly tail. But Lisa is a doll to work with. She's a hard worker. That woman is always creating and doing something. And if you aren't on her Lisa Hunt Art Facebook page, you're missing out. They do like specials on the weekend where you can score some of her stuff. Like sometimes she puts prints on sale. Yay! I'm doing like a Lisa Hunt because I love her.
Will you hold that one back up, please? Oh, that's so rude.
It's the Star Maiden.
Yeah.
And it's from the Fairy Tale Tarot. So yeah, it's one. Sorry. Look, you can see.
I know you can see me.
Beautiful. And her artwork. What I like about her, and one of the things as a tarot reader I look for in decks is I want to see immediate recognition. Like Stephanie Pugh-Law's Shadowscapes. She's working on a new Oracle deck. Cannot wait. But I want to know the artist. I want to have continuity. And with Lisa Hunt, you always do.
And it's just so good. I love all of her artwork. Huge fan. Huge fan.
It's very fantastical. I love how rich and fantastical it is. It's very detailed. You see within a picture, within a picture, within a picture. Everything sort of bleeds together in this root-like scenario. It's very, you can really lose yourself in any one of her images, which is another reason why I really appreciated the Winged Enchantment, because they were bigger than usual cards. They just had a really nice feel to them. They were much larger, and you felt like you could actually hold the picture up in front of you and see it completely, whereas some of her other decks are a bit smaller, and I think a lot of the detail is quite lost. You have to really get in there close with a magnifying glass to catch it all, but it's there. It's all there. It's beautiful artwork, and you're very lucky, very fortunate to have been able to work with her. I'm sure she would have just been amazing to work with. That's stunning.
Very.
So,
She's, yeah, and so dedicated. And what I loved most about her was that she's so hardcore about diversity. I mean, it wasn't just a passing, let's put one or two stories in that are different. It was we cannot be Eurocentric. We must spread out. So
yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So the next topic that I wanted to talk with you is about, so the question, this is the question I've been wanting to ask you for, since I've been watching your videos myself. So what exactly entails, and where did you find the title of Professional Joy Seeker? How did that originate, and how has that blossomed throughout the years? Tell us a little bit about that.
That came about from one of the shittiest periods of my life ever. I'd gone through several losses. My mom had died. My mom was my best friend, and I turned into a bitter Betty. In fact, bitter Betty was probably sweeter than I was. I was nasty. I was venting my rage and my grief on anybody and anything. And I have a Scorpio moon, so I could be really, really nasty. And I had a breakup with somebody I thought was, my last relationship. And I had to take stock of what the heck I was doing in life. And I talk about the Arwen remodeling project. And I went home to my sister's and stayed there for, I want to say at least a week. It might have been 2 weeks. And she had a guest cottage. I kind of just stayed out there and wept and wrote and gnashed my teeth. But during that, the phrase came to me, just how, and this is the whole phrase. I've actually got it on the back of, I don't know where it is, back of one of my electronics. I had it inscribed. How hard would it be if your life's purpose were simply to seek joy? And you know what? The answer to that question is kind of hard. It's hard to be a professional joy seeker because there are times when I just got a letter from the state asking me why I hadn't paid something when I had called them 14 days ago asking if they'd received the check, and they said yes. And if y'all saw a small nuclear cloud from the eastern side of New Mexico, that was my head going up just. And I have to bring myself back down because when I let myself get angry and when I let myself get, the whole world hates me, I hate the whole world, everybody sucks, all those drivers are, I don't feel good. It makes me physically ill. So I had to, for my own health, become a professional joy seeker. I don't always have the joy. I don't always have it. There are times when my husband's an idiot and I don't have the joy. He would say that I may be the one with the problem, but that, it's he's always wrong. No. But that's where it came from. It was like 2008, I want to say, is when that phrase happened. So it's been almost 10 years now. But it was a really deep changing moment for me to realize that I couldn't just give lip service to the idea of, I was doing talk therapy. I was on medication at that point for panic anxiety disorder, for PTSD, for social anxiety. I don't know. They had a whole bunch of names for it. Basically, I was fucking depressed. And, the medicine gave me a crutch to get somewhere where my mind could go, okay, this is what we have to do. So with that, with medical help, I haven't been on the meds in a long time. But that's why I'm a professional joy seeker, so I'm not a professional bitch.
That's good. So explain the sort of transformation, like where you started out to where you are now. What are the biggest differences and the things that you found that have been the most enlightening and the most joyful for you?
The most joyful has been that people come to me and tell me I've made a difference in their life, that I have given them an example of a different way to be. I asked for quotes on my Facebook page the other day because I love to do tarot spreads based on quotes, and I was looking for some inspiration. And somebody quoted me from 2002, 2005, I don't know, but a long time ago. And I cringed because the quote was, just because you're stupid doesn't mean I'm a bitch. And that is absolutely something I said to somebody on an email list. And if you go out there and hunt my name and hunt witch wars, you can find plenty of examples of pre-joy seeker Arwen. And I have a gift with words. I do. And I can rip somebody down. But the joy seeking has given me so much more. I've had people tell me that they think that I'm fake, I'm not authentic. And you know what? Sometimes they're right. Sometimes when I'm being joyful, I'm not being authentic because in the back of my head, I'm thinking, you stupid mofo. But that's not who I want to be. So the person that I authentically want to be is a happy person.
That's such a good. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead. That's where it's taken me, is from. It's been not a 360, because then I'd be looking at it again. My husband is sneaking up on me. Oh, it's been a 180.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think it's important. You made a really good point that I wanted to drive home with people. There's so much out there, and I see it, now that I am part of the online community, I see it online all the time, that people get accused of, being fake and not being real. And you know what? Some days we just have to project the person that we want to be. And I don't really consider that, us being fake. It's just that we want to put the face forward that we would rather be. You know, it's not, you know, some days you're not feeling it. And in my line of work, so I'm a trainer, you know, I'm not ever going to go to work and like nobody goes to the gym to put up with my own bullshit. They go to the gym to get away from it. So I'm not ever going to like walk into the gym angry and telling everybody about my problems. Like nobody gives a shit. So I'm there to be somebody's, you know, psychiatrist and to work out their issues and to make their life better. So when I'm at work and I'm having a really bad day, guess what? I get to project the face forward that I want people to see me with, because that's what I want people to see me with. It's not me being fake. It's because that's the person that I would rather be, and I would rather want somebody to see me as. So I think that's awesome. The thing that I wanted to bring up too, so you got me hooked onto this hashtag 3 daily joys that I try to do every day. Sometimes I get super busy, but and if you have Instagram for any of our audience, you need to jump on this bandwagon too. So I think it's super important that, because, you know, we are about community, and, you know, the more heads we put together, the easier it is to do something. And if you don't know what we're talking about, the hashtag, go out to, I've got quite a few post out there on my Instagram, and I know Arwen does. Go out there and check it out, and I think you guys should hop on board on the three daily joys. So it literally is just hashtag the number 3 daily joys, and then you list 3 things. They can be completely random. Like one day, mine was sunshine, ketchup, and I don't remember. Just the things that, and you know, start small. It can be appreciative of ketchup. Ketchup is freaking delicious, and you know, if we of course have to talk about food.
It's a food.
Food, it's my favorite subject. Don't take it away from me. But you know, it's good to be appreciative of the small things. You know, being a joy seeker, it doesn't have to be, you know, we're not talking about life-changing things all in a day. It starts with the small baby steps, and we can be appreciative of ketchup, because you know what, that day we're appreciative of that, and the next day we can be appreciative of something bigger, and it just builds into the stepping stones until it becomes this habit and this new way of living. It's not just it's not a part-time thing. Like people don't just, you know, turn around and be happy one day. It is a life change, and it's a life commitment, and to really seek it and to know it and to want to have it, it has to be a total body, total mind, spirit connection to do that. So yeah. So anyway, coming back to the hashtag, now that I got all serious for a second, go out to Instagram and join our 3 daily joys. And then I think it's 3 daily joys, and then the hashtag that goes with it is attitude of gratitude, correct?
That, yeah, I saw out there, and I love that phrase. So, and I would remind people that your daily joys can be, I mean, I posted a picture one of a completely shattered bottle of wine. And my cats had been complete assholes. And so one of my daily joys was, well, at least it wasn't good wine.
Perspective.
That's the bright side. That's looking on the bright side.
All about perspective, right?
You know, and they broke one of my fairies. I had these beautiful fairies, beautiful, like big, tall fairies, and they busted one up, and the same day. I mean, the cats were being total assholes. And the other joy was, well, that's one less thing I have to dust.
There you go. Perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and all the cats lived. I guess that's a joy.
That is a joy, right? No fur babies were lost in the destroying of the fairy.
I think it's a beautiful thing to be a joy seeker. I think that's really lovely to give yourself that sort of moniker of joy seeker. It doesn't actually say to the world, I'm the happiest fucking person in the world. I'm the person, you're actually saying I'm the person who's making it my business to look for joy when everyone else is deciding to be pretty shitty. I'm a pretty happy person. Like, I'm actually stupidly happy, and it works to my advantage because the way that I am and the cutesy kind of voice that I sometimes put on and the way I get really excited and the way that I flap my hands, people think that I'm stupid, and then they have a conversation with me, or they might say something to me, and then I'm like a surgeon. And then they're like, oh shit. And I'm like, just because people are happy, just because they smile, just because they're polite, just because they have joy in their heart and they want to share it, don't underestimate that person. That person is packing heat. Like, they are always packing heat.
And from my perspective, like, I've been down some very, very, very dark roads myself. I'm talking like looking death in the face. And I wish I had had this then. That's all I got to say.
So how has tarot helped you in this path of joy seeking?
It's given me a way to connect on a different level. And it's given me a tool for when people come to me. And people come to me for readings, and they want, they want direction. They want a path. And I'm real specific with folks about the fact that, there are things that I can't do and I won't do. I do fortune telling readings. I do future casting. But it's with the caveat that if you're here and you get these choices and you pick this one, well, guess what? Then you're here again, and now you've got these choices again. You're always in control. It's free will manifestation of your stuff. But it helps me. Tarot gives me a way to read for people. I have people who come to me and say, I can't find joy anywhere. Where can I find joy? And it's a valid question. And we put the cards down and say, okay, well, this card says, here, I'm looking at this, and I'll just riff off whatever I see on the card. And if you're another tarot reader, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. And I've had this happen with other readers who read for me when they're intuitive. They'll lay 9 of wands down, and I'm like, oh, defense time. Holding everybody off, putting everybody in their place. And they're going, I see you on a high hill. I see you hiking. You've got your sticks. There are people behind you. You're leading people. What? So, and I do that with my own readings. I don't read specifically traditional meaning. And that tarot is a tool for that. It's a dear friend of mine calls it GPS for the soul. And I really like that.
Yeah, that's genius. I love that you said, what did you call it? Willful. What did you call it?
Free will manifestation.
Yes, free will manifestation.
Right.
I am writing that down because that's good. Good. So how has your journey helped you affect other people's journeys as far as tarot readings, and how did it change your perspective on reading tarot?
When I first started reading tarot, I sucked at it. I couldn't do it. It was hard, and I didn't want to do it. And I was on the Wiccan path, and my high priestess said, well, babe, you're between this degree and this degree, and you must have a divination system, so pick one. And I whined. It's hard. So she said, well, let's go find a tarot deck and see what you could do, because the tarot deck I was using, I just couldn't read with. It was a thought deck. And I went with her. I will never forget, we went to a Body, Mind, Spirit conference. We were up in Toledo, Ohio. And it was this huge place. And I walked past this table that was like 6-foot long table stuck together with just books and decks and jewels. And I'm a rock girl, so I'm like, ooh, rocks. And she's like, focus. And I see a deck, and it is usually it's right here, but it's hiding somewhere. It was called the Herbal Tarot. It's by Michael Tierra and Candace somebody. Sorry, Candace. And I picked it up, and it felt good in my hand. It wasn't open. It just felt good in my hand. So she said, let's take that. And I went back, and I started reading with it, and just connected. And a weird thing was that I had a byproduct of all of a sudden being able to identify things in the yard where I hadn't been before. Like, I read with that deck, and suddenly I had these memories of herbal stuff. And I don't have it anymore. It kind of went away. But that deck made me see how it could open you up. And tarot is a tool. There have been times when I've laid a card down and then just started talking. It's like verbal diarrhea. I tell people I'm just going to blah, 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 kind of like I'm doing now. But it took me from somebody who I didn't trust my intuition, to where now I do trust my intuition. I read on 1-900 psychic lines. I've read in bars, baby showers, just about anywhere you can name. except some outdoor venues, because it's really hard to read when you lay a card down and go, that was the, I'm not sure. So, not real big on reading outside in a windy place.
No, that's the worst. I did that a couple of weeks ago at the full moon gathering that I went to. I brought my my tarot deck, my trusty dusty, the one that everybody makes fun of me for, and everybody was like, "Oh, I brought a tarot deck so he can read for us." And so I was like, "That's not really what I brought it for," but now that everybody's lining up, I guess I will. So, but it was, the wind had picked up, and so I was laying down a card, and they were trying to blow away, and I'm trying to have like this insightful, intuitive moment with people, and I'm having to like have my feet and my hands holding down the 3-card spread so that I can talk about it. Yeah, I don't like to read outdoors either, and I'm an outdoors guy, but I hate it.
I think it depends on where. Like, we have plenty of nature spots up here, and I will go walking a long way to find them. And then I get to sit there by this cute little waterfall surrounded by trees and like Ulysses butterflies. And I'm like, I'm going to do a reading on this rock, y'all. And I will spread it out. And I'll be like, oh my God, this is the best. Like, this is the best ever. My favorite place to read is outside. My favorite, absolute favorite place to read. I'm like, oh my God, I've got all the elements, all of them. They're right here. Look at this. It's like a privilege. But you're right. The wind can be a cunt, and we don't like that. And so, no one wants to lose a card. No one wants to lose a card from their precious tarot deck to the wind. And, so there's valid points. But, on a really nice day, it's beautiful to read outside. It's the best.
Okay,
we don't have those here in the Midwest. I don't know if you know anything about the Midwest America, but it's windy every day.
Yeah, in New Mexico, they say you're from New Mexico if you fall over when the wind stops blowing. And it's a true story. Somebody came to visit me, and they said, oh, my God, it's so windy. And I was like, it was only about 18 miles an hour. And I'm like, no.
That ain't nothing.
This isn't really windy yet. We had 80-mile-per-hour winds during a blizzard 2 years ago.
That's normal.
Can I just point out that Avalon said y'all?
And I literally there's a little piece of me when she said that was like,
I say it when I'm drunk too. But I don't drink, remember. So.
Welcome to the Midwest of Oklahoma.
Oh, y'all stop it.
Now all she needs is a beer and a bonfire.
That's actually happening tonight.
I wish I could have that tonight. That'd be awesome. Darn it. So, okay, are you ready to have some fun?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So we know you as the Barbara Walters, what you dub yourself, the Barbara Walters wannabe of YouTube. And so how many people would you say that you've interviewed in your time of being Barbara Walters of YouTube?
40-ish, 30-ish, somewhere in that.
So how many questions total do you think that is for you?
Well, I have 20 questions, and I tend to ask anywhere from 13 to 20 of them. I don't do math. That's hard.
Math is stupid. Math is dumb.
Yeah, because Chase can't multiply. We learned that last night. We were going to do 6.
Simple multiplication, and this guy right here struggled. So the number that it was embarrassing.
If we each ask 3 questions, that's 16 questions, right?
it was bad. It was so bad.
Allorah and I just like crickets, like blink, blink, blink.
I know, and then they fell completely silent, just stared at me, which made me feel even dumber because they could have been like, "Hey, buddy." No, they had to make fun of me, of course, and tear me down.
That's why you don't want to go to a gym with a trainer, because trainers don't count. They tell you they want 20 sit-ups, and it turns out to be 25 because they start talking to somebody and go, "Oh, you can stop now."
Hey, this guy. So that'll get me onto a whole nother tangent that I'm only gonna be on a soapbox. I'm gonna limit myself to 30 seconds. So I started my business based on the fact that I knew that no other trainer counted, and the thing that pissed me off the most was that you're paying a trainer, top dollar. We're expensive. Like, we are a luxury, and I'm not, I'm not unbiased to that or unaware of that, or like, we are a luxury. If you're going to pay me $50 for an hour of training, you're going to get my undivided attention. I'm going to count every single rep. I'm going to, and it's amazing how when I started doing this, everybody was like, wait, you're not going to walk away when I start my workout? No, like, you just paid me $50 for an hour. Like, you get every single minute of this hour with me, whether you like it or not, because that's what you paid for. So anyway, soapbox, and I'm stepping off now. So truly though, so what we want to do with you, now that we're back on topic, so what we want to do is we want to kind of cram all of the interviews that you've done into a very short amount of time. We're going to do rapid fire questionnaire for you. We each have 4 questions we're going to ask you, and we're each going to ask one at a time. And you have to answer with the first word or the first answer that comes into your mind. You are not allowed to put any thought into it.
Oh, good.
I love how she's turning around like, oh,
I know. So good. So this is our rapid fire questions, and I'm going to kick it off. Are you ladies ready?
Ready.
I'm pretty ready.
Ready.
I got some good ones.
All right. Yeah, we did. We came up last night. This is why we had to like come together and have like a special pre-show so we could come up with some juicy questions. And I have to tell you, like, right off the bat, Avalon has the best ones. The questions that
Yes,
like I would come up with one, like we were taking turns. Like I would come up with one, Allorah would come up with one, and Avalon would come up with one. We're like, well, shit. Why didn't I for every single question? I was like, and then by the end, I was like, well, I don't, like, I was the one still with only 3, and I was like, I don't even know what to ask anymore because anything I come up with isn't even gonna like remotely come close to what Avalon.
I left you a really good one.
So rude. So rude. All right, so our time begins. Are you ready?
Ready.
Hang on. Wait. What order are we going in?
Oh,
Chase, me, Allorah? Chase, me, Allorah?
That'll work, yeah.
Chase, me, Allorah. Right, go.
All right, question 1. What is your favorite tarot deck?
Gaian.
Oh, good one.
Oh. Who is your tarot idol?
Mary Kay Greer.
She got a countdown.
Okay, so we're perverted around here, and our conversations generally revolve around food, sex, and spirituality. So, food or sex?
I can't have both?
No.
I'm a big girl.
She can have both.
There you go. All right, next question. So if you were launched into space and you could only take 4 things with you, what 4 would they be? And this is for, you don't know how long it's going to be. You just have to take 4 things with you. You have to grab them really, really fast. What are those things?
Journal and a pencil, the Gaian tarot deck, an oracle deck, probably Secrets of the Mystic Grove, and
3.
a rock, a crystal.
Oh, there you go.
A crystal.
Good one.
Good work. What tarot deck in publication right now that has been published do you think should never, ever have been made?
Oh, I won't answer that. I'm a professional reviewer, and I would lose business. I'll tell y'all off camera.
All right, deal.
Okay, so this can be from RWS or Lenormand or whatever, but what is your favorite card?
The star. I like the hope.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so hopefully you'll answer this question. What one tarot reader do you want to punch in the face?
Nobody, because that's not professionally seeking joy. They are not my hula hoop, so I don't want to punch them.
She is just snaking all around it. She's just slithering all around our questions right now.
She's like a politician.
Right? Arwen for president.
All right, I've got one. You are on the committee for punishment for those who seek to cause defamation, discomfort, and just general arsyness within the tarot community. This could be a reader, this could be a person. If you had to dish out one method of punishment for someone who was seriously corrupting the ethics of tarot, what would that punishment be?
Shunning.
My mother's a lawyer. That's where that came from. Shot.
Shunning, absolute shut down,
shunning.
no communication, no attention. Generally, what they want is attention, and I'm not going to give it to them.
Good answer.
All right.
I took that as shot with a rifle, by the way.
No, it's like an Amish drive-by shunning. Clop, 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 glare. Clop, 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 glare.
Oh, shunning. I literally heard shot, and I'm like, she's down.
Okay, so we turned ourselves into the major arcana. We chose one that we felt that we have embodied for most of our life. So if you had to choose a major arcana card that you have embodied most of your life, what would it be?
I'd like to say the Fool or the High Priestess, but honestly, probably the Empress. She's fertile, she's creative, and I'm pretty damn creative.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that a lot. All right. What famous tarot reader would you want to read your cards?
Oh.
That was Avalon's question.
I know, but I stole it.
I'm going to go with, there's so many, but there's somebody who's kind of new to me, and it's Liz of Little Fox Tarot. She wrote the Kitchen Table Tarot. Awesome book, get it. But Liz is who I would want to do it because I love her in-depth, complicated readings. I mean, she really gets into it. So Liz, that's who I would pick.
Good choice.
Mine's a little bit similar in that case. If you could read tarot for any individual, alive or dead, share that sacred space and read tarot, who would you want that individual to be?
Oh, that's a good one. And okay, I'm going to show I have a vice in life. It's history. I would want to read for Queen Elizabeth I, the Queen Elizabeth Tudor.
Oh, we had this conversation, and I know where you're coming from.
I expected something historical. In my head, I thought she might say Mata Hari. She might say Mata
wouldn't
Hari.
That would be awesome. That
would have been fun.
Yeah, but I'm afraid all the answers would be,
Good.
I would tell you, but I would have to kill you.
All right.
That's it. That's all my fault.
That is my 4 too.
And I have one left. One left. So if you could add an extra card to the RWS, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Add an extra card. That's an excellent question, she said as she stalled for time. The mirror.
The
The
mirror?
mirror. I would put it in the mirror.
That's
Yes, so that we
so
can
good.
God.
see ourselves reflected back.
Yes, that's so good. Wow.
Brilliant.
That's fabulous. And fun fact, the Wisdom of the Seeker Oracle, by Rosie Aronson, has a mirror card in it. It's legit.
And so does Anthony's deck. It has a mirror in it too. Awakened Soul.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
When you said that, I was like, wait, I've seen another one like that. So yes, that's what I would do. I have lost connection, so I can't see the chat anymore. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, I did too, and it won't reload for me. I keep trying.
I'll just open up mine.
I got it.
Good for you. I'm gonna try and I haven't tried in the last couple minutes. I'm gonna try it again.
That was fun. So what major arcanas did y'all all decide you were, and did you guess at what I was going to say?
Hang on, Barbara Walter.
Hey, we're the interviewers here.
People
Hey, you take a seat, ma'am. You take a
You
seat.
see what she did there?
I did, and we literally, all 3 of us were like, and then we all went, wait a minute, no. Listen here, man. We were gonna be obedient for a second, and then we realized who this was.
Yes,
Yeah,
you hold a good
almost
space,
second.
Arwen. You hold a very good space.
Yes.
It's easy to get sucked in. It's like, oh, look.
I don't know what
Silver
you mean.
Does everybody watching, do they want us to answer that question? Put it in the chat.
Yeah, I think we should answer that.
What do you think?
I mean, they saw the cards that we turned into ourselves. What did I just say? That we turned into. I can't English. Forget it. I'm done. I'm gonna sign language for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and, I've had questions about that, and I'm like, guys, it's not random. Like, these are cards that we thought
right
into before we chose them. Like, I just didn't be like, hey, you're gonna be this card.
Right.
Yeah. I chose the devil. I chose it.
Okay, so
they love that archetype.
They want us to answer.
Yeah, because you want to sneeze. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Avalon, go first, because I think Avalon's was probably the most surprising to everyone.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone expects either the Hierophant, the Empress, or the Fool. I like all three of those, but I thought the devil. I like the devil because I will, in any given conversation, make you think about the opposite side of the situation. And that usually means saying the cunty thing. It usually means saying the thing that nobody wants you to say, that nobody expects you to say, that it's going to upset you. In a tarot reading, I'm not nice. I'm honest, but I'm not nice. And sometimes I think that that's a little bit of the energy of the devil. Like, he will show you the options, all of those options. Some of them are much more tempting than others, and you're like, how could you do that? Like, how could you put that in front of that person? Well, it's part of the buffet of options that they have at their disposal. In which case, I'm a pusher.
Can I just say that I resonated with the word buffet?
I can and will make you buy any tarot deck. I can and I will do it. I will do that. I will make you fall in love with tarot like a drug, like I could have my hit. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I went out today and I went to buy tissues and I came back with 18 decks. Avalon, it's all your fault.
Are we talking about you or
right? Who are we talking about right now? I feel like this is maybe a little bit of projection, a little bit. Yeah,
yes, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. Figured that. All right. So, do you have anything else that you would like to ask the wonderful Arwen?
Hold on. Explain your card.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. I was not gonna explain my card at all. I was just sorry. My bad. So I chose the Magician because, and I've explained this in an earlier video that I did. Yes, in an earlier video that I did. I think it was wasn't it to your hashtag, the first hashtag that I did of yours, Arwen? When I talked about the Magician card for me.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm explaining it again. So I chose the Magician because this year has been the year of growth for me. This has been, and it's funny because when I had an astrology reading done for me 2 years ago, they said that 2017 was going to be that year for me. And that is why from that moment, I'm a huge fan of astrology. I dove headfirst into learning astrology and actually just signed up for Ben and Bellwin's course that I am getting my books in tomorrow according to the shipping tracker. So I'm very excited for that. And I've been researching like crazy. Anyway, back to topic at hand. I'd love to talk about other things. And so, so I chose a Magician because this year has left me extremely capable, and I feel very, very powerful this year. I've taken my journey out, and not only did I take my journey outside of myself, but it has been an extremely, extremely successful process. And, I came into this, and I was talking to, who was I talking to? I can't remember, talking about, the things that, and I say this in a very humble place, the things that are happening to me in the short time that I've been here, people have been waiting and been on YouTube for years for. And I've just had so many doors open up for me in the last, has it been 5 months yet? And I think it's been 5 months. The doors that have been opened and the recognition that I got from US Games, and just like today I got an email from nothing that is I'm going to follow through with, but from a sponsor wanting to sponsor me and my videos, talking that they loved my content. Like, there's just all this stuff has been happening to me that other people have been waiting so long for. And so the Magician just felt very, very right for me, because I do feel like I have a table set in front of me. I'm going to reuse the word because I liked it, a buffet of possibilities and tools that have been given to me. And So yeah, that's why I chose the magician card.
All right, and I guess I'll explain mine. So when you look at the graphic, mine is the hermit. And contrary to popular belief, I am not an extrovert. I am very introverted. And so I spend a lot of time in my head, and I'm very much the researcher and the person who will, okay, so part of this is I'm a Virgo sun, Virgo rising. And so that means I'm literally a walking computer. And a lot of times when I go into situations, I swear, it's like I will, how can I explain this? So I go into a movie theater or a bar or whatever. And the first thing that I do when I walk in there is I start assessing people, like who's where, what are they doing? What are they wearing? How are they acting? Where are the exits? You know? And so all this stuff goes on inside of my head and inside of me. And I spend a lot of time on self-reflection and research, and yeah. And so that's why I chose the hermit, because I'm actually really introverted, and I've been that way most of my life.
Isn't that interesting? That's funny that that you say that, because I think everybody expects a lot of us to be extroverts, and I think that in a way we are all like super strong introverts. I know that I have my moments. I certainly want to be the center of attention sometimes, and you know, I seek that sometimes. But you know, on the weekends when it comes to my downtime, the best thing that I can do for myself, and the thing that I like to do the best, is to just forget about social media, forget about, I'm going to say this in a very loving place, forget about all my friends, and just sit down on the couch and read a book for hours. That's what I did this last Saturday. All my clients canceled, and I sat down on the couch and I got through an entire book and started another one that I'm reading now. It's my favorite thing. I'm very introverted, or can be.
I'm not that introverted.
That is not shocking. No. Hold on. Where's my shocked face? It's around here somewhere. Hold on.
Grab it. Grab your shocked face.
Oh,
I'll grab mine.
I don't have one. That's right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I totally resonate with that, because I would rather spend my time with my books than with people. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I definitely feel that. Like, I have had so many times in my life where I've gotten texts from people who are like, "Hey, let's go out," and I'm like, "Oh, I just started a book." I don't know if you've ever seen the Ellen skit where she's like, "I just opened up some yogurt. I am in for the night." Like, that's kind of how I feel like sometimes. Like, I cracked open a book. Gosh darn it, it's a big one. I am in for the night. Darn it. I just can't move. It's weighing down my legs. Too bad.
I like a little half and half, really. Like, I get ultra drained if I'm out too much, if I'm out consorting with people too much. But there is a part of me that actually really, really likes going out, interacting and socializing. And in that situation, I'm generally that person. I'm that big person in that situation. But also it'd have to be like, that would only be like 8 times a year. Like, what actually that coincides with the Sabbaths, where I'm the high priestess, so that works.
Yeah. And I think if any of my friends are watching, they're going to be like, he's a hermit? What? Like, because when I am out, I'm very loud and I'm very boisterous and center of attention-y, but I do absolutely.
I think they're going to be saying he reads books.
That's what you said, that 50-50. You know, I think for that side of me because when I'm at work, like, you know, I'm a very loud presence, and so I walk through the gym and I'm high-fiving people and we're having conversations, and so I think if any of those were watching this right now, you know, talking about how big of an introvert I am, they'd be like, huh? But, you know, the other side of that, you know, the people that, you know, my roommates or anybody that I've lived with in the past, I don't have roommates now, thank God. But you know, if any of my roommates saw that half of me, I think they would be super shocked at that too and be like, he's outgoing? What? I just have a very dynamic split in that kind of way, personality. So, what are we going to do next?
This is Serenity. She told me she was napping. She promised me she would nap, but she didn't. This is Serenity. This is my youngest daughter. She's an Aries.
Hi, Serenity.
Serenity, what were you putting in your mama's hair? What were you putting in your mama's hair just now? Was it a bow or a pony?
No, that's nail polish.
Oh.
I have some really interesting things you can do with nail polish. Shall I tell you?
No, you can't.
Nail polish.
Yes, savvy nail polish. That's her sister's. It's, to be clear, just in case anyone's like, who would let their child play with nail polish? It's fake nail polish. It's water with glitter in it.
Gee.
It works.
I'll send you some real nail polish. It's obviously child abuse, and you need real nail polish and markers, permanent ones.
Yes, so many colors. Just get her all the colors. Still decorate your house.
That's it. Nail polish, hey. Nail polish.
I love it. I love it. So, you guys have any? Now I'll ask it again. Now that we're through the cards, do any of you guys, either of you, have any more questions for Miss Arwen before we get to the fun part of reading some cards?
I do. What made you want to go out there and interview the, let's call it the talent of YouTube? What made you want to go out there and do that? Is that part of your professional joy seeking? Is that your desire to connect with community? Is that something else entirely?
I like to talk and I love to learn about people, and I've just had so much fun doing it. I like talking to everybody. I don't care channel count. The only thing I've actually said is that I want people to have at least 10 videos so I know they're actually going to be out there and doing something. But I like talking to people. I really find it, people talk about their stuff and tell me about themselves. I've got an upcoming series. It's going to be me working with authors doing readings out of this book. I'm going to be working with them. One of them, if y'all like fantasy and romance, is Robin D. Owens, who writes the Keltia series. And she's a friend of mine, so I'm really looking forward to having a chance to sit down and do the reading for her and getting her to talk to me about her books, because it's like talking to deity. If we don't shut up, we don't ever hear anything. I think that was Allorah, was that you and I that were talking about that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I do it, Avalon. I love meeting people and finding out, and I like asking the same questions because the answers are so different. It's really kind of fun to
Oh, that's so nice. That's really nice. That's nice to know that that's what motivates you. That's exciting. And I think you would get to see, that's the definition of up close people watching, really, when you think about it, isn't it? I'm a huge people watcher. I freaking love to people watch. I could position myself with a good cup of coffee and watch people. And I'm pretty good at reading a person. And if I can't read them, I'll still make up a story about them because I have a storyteller heart. And so, you see a woman sauntering past, I'm like, oh my God, tawdry love affair. Walking that way.
walk of shame.
And it's very easy. It's very easy to get in there, And so that's really nice. I'm delighted. I've only just started to watch these interviews, and I think the very first one was Allorah's. I was there showing support.
Dude, yeah, I think we both were, because I think we got pretty snarky in the chat, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and some of us were driving, some of us had fevers. I don't know.
I don't recall either of that.
I do not wish to comment on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
I plead the fifth.
And I have a question for you, Arwen. So aside from YouTube and spiritual community, you write, and you mentioned NaNoWriMo and all of that stuff. So do you do that every year? And do you do Camp NaNoWriMo as well in the summer?
I've never done Camp NaNoWriMo, and I only got serious about NaNoWriMo about 2 years ago. I used to poke at it and because when I'm writing, NaNoWriMo likes you to start a new manuscript generally. And the first year I did 50,000 words on a sword and sorcery book that is book of my heart. The next year I did another 50,000 on the same story. So and now it's back down to 92 because I went through and, but I like to write. I actually feel clogged up if I don't write. I don't know a better way to describe it, but I need to write. So NaNoWriMo is really, really good for people who want their butts kicked and to get into the habit of writing. But if you wrote 250 words a day, that's a page. That's about the basic page in a book. And you did that every day, you'd have 365 pages by the end of the year. Yeah, there's 365 days in a year. So it's getting you in the habit, and that's the whole point of NaNoWriMo, is to get you in the habit of writing. And most of us write, I'm fixing to get on the soapbox, y'all yank me down. We write the first 30 pages, and then we go back and start rewriting them again because we don't like it. Keep writing until you get to the end. The first draft is called a rough draft because it is. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be even good, or, you know, most of first drafts have plot holes you can drive trucks through. And then go back and start looking at your plot and breaking it down and doing some of the craft. You know, but don't get stuck in the infernal editor mode where you're constantly, oh, that's shitty, I need to go back and rewrite that. Oh, look, wouldn't it be great if they had a puppy? I'm going to go back and add a puppy in.
I totally am so glad that I can send you messages in the future and cry and say, help me, because these guys won't do what I want them to do. Because, like, my problem is, though, for me when I write, so, like, I'll write something and I'm like, yes, and I'll have a great day writing, and then like 2 or 3 months will go by and I'll get back into my manuscript and I'll be like, what in the hell am I talking about? Like, where is this going? What is supposed to happen next? And then I'm like, oh, shit. And then I have to go back, and then I start editing, and then you get trapped in that, and then I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm done.
I have a story that's never been finished because it started out in a jungle, and I moved the entire story to Denver.
That's pretty funny.
I'm still finding army ants stuck here and there on the bookshelves. You know, it's like, did we not get completely out of the jungle? Where did that come from? So yeah, but you've just got to write forward. Is the whole point of it. Write forward. Yeah, you can go back and fix anything, but you cannot fix blank pages.
Oh, that quote needs to. I'm putting that somewhere.
That's a quote for life. That is an absolute quote for life. That reminds me of a quote. That reminds me of a quote that I still use that I had back in high school. My favorite class I ever took this is going to be super odd for me because I'm not an artist in the slightest, but my favorite class was art because the instructor was so amazing. And, you know, I'm not an artist, like I just said. And so I literally, like, after class, I would come up, and I was her favorite student because I tried so damn hard, but I just dropped fucking ugly. And so I came up after class and I was like, how in the hell do I learn to draw? And the thing that she said to me was, you learn to draw by drawing.
Yes.
And I was like the first ever like moment I ever had, because I have used that throughout my entire life. When I think that I can't do something, I remember she told me, you learn to do it by fucking doing it. Nobody is like a master of anything. They did it because they may have an aptitude towards it, but they didn't become an expert they didn't wake up and in expert mode. They learned to do it by actually doing it.
I agree. I think there are very few things in life that you cannot teach yourself. Actually, I don't think there's anything you can't teach yourself. I just think that you need a lot of persistence and motivation to do it. And art, I feel like I should school you right now, mister. Art is everything. And so to say that you're not an artist is absolute rubbish. And I want you to get that out of your head right now, because
yes, Mom.
When you're doing a tarot reading, what you're doing is art. You're laying out the cards in a demeanor. You're interacting with those cards, which are expressions of somebody else's art. You're speaking eloquently to assist another person to find their way in some regard. That's art. Like, it's the art of tarot for a reason.
True dat. True that. I was talking specifically about drawing pictures. I'll draw you a
Everyone
picture.
does, though. Everyone does. But I also disagree. Everyone can draw. Every single person. I can prove it. I can prove it.
I can draw stick people.
You can make those stick people look really cool after a while,
I'm
though.
a stick people boss. I will just draw the dopest stick people you ever saw.
But yeah, I mean, Avalon brought up a good point. I mean, there's a lot of things that are artistic that we don't think are artistic until we really sit down and look at it and we're like, okay, that's a fucking art, man. Like, there's no other word to describe it. I mean, whether it's music or creating a website or coming up with, I mean, we've been highly creative with making, you know, all the quirky, sassy stuff we came up with for the shop we're launching. You know what I mean? Like, there's art in all of that.
Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Agreed.
And there's joy as well. So there's a little bit of Arwen in all of that.
Can
I just say,
Arwen and everything?
I have to say that yesterday I was talking to these crazy kids and I'm like, I can't reconcile in my brain because I studied through the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids through their UK branch, and you know, I did a year's worth of study there. And Arwen, it's one of those primal things. If you were to lift up my table right now, I have my surface oiled with Arwen symbols. I have Arwen symbols on my candles. I really interact very, very specifically with Arwen. And so I think that that's a very fitting name to call oneself, you know, Arwen and the professional joy seeker. So I'm just saying. Anyway, shall we choose our decks and begin our crazy shuffle?
Yes, I think that we lost one.
Arwen will be right back. She asked me, she's like, how long are we broadcasting? And I was like, oh, you're fine. So she'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, we're a little longer than an hour.
Oh yeah.
We certainly are.
Right.
So what deck are you going to use?
Who's using what deck? What are you using? Chase, what are you using?
I'm gonna not hide behind the cards. Yeah.
It's an oracle. I don't know if I'm gonna be judged for using an oracle deck because I really want to use it. Oh, the exasperation from Avalon. She had to throw her head back. And just, so dramatic.
It's because she likes being the sweet sugar / warm hug at the end of hard fucking truths. And like, oh, you took that from me.
Not necessarily.
No, I'm actually shuffling the sun and moon.
Ah, look at that. So I have been this last week really reconnecting with my animal totem and animal spirits in general. So I wanted to bring all of that into someone's life with my medicine cards. And sometimes, you know what? The message isn't sweet. This is not a sweet deck. I would not consider this a sweet deck at all. This is a
I already know this.
Yeah. Yes.
Chase is like, you need ant medicine. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So then I look it up and it's like, your ass needs to work and be patient. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's not, the messages are not gentle. I love this deck to death. Love it.
I love it when a message isn't gentle. I think you need to be jolted into action. Like,
absolutely.
Not everybody, but, you know, a lot of people do need to be jolted into action. And so, you know, I'm pretty upfront about saying don't choose me as your tarot reader if you're expecting to get a warm hug. I cry 2 times a year. I swear like a sailor. And, you know, I'm all about tough love. You know, I'm all about saying the right thing, doing the right thing. And that sometimes makes you a really, really, you know, nice person. Just saying.
Yeah.
I never lie, though. Ever. It's my motto in life. I used to be a little liar growing up, and I was taught my lesson very early. I was taught a very, very harsh lesson very early, and it was a harsh lesson, and I have never, ever lied again. Ever.
It's too hard to lie. Like, it is so hard to, because once you lie, then you gotta, it's not like you just say a lie and then you can forget about it. No, you have to lie because you lied, and you gotta lie because you lied, and you gotta lie because you lied because you lied. And it's just this whole, like, it's too much energy. My journey and where I am at, this is like being on this, you know, shamanic journey or whatever it is that I'm in right now it's exhausting and it's taxing, and I don't have any more energy to give. Like, you're either going to get the truth or don't use me as your reader. Truly.
Okay, so Arwen, what deck are you rocking?
I am going to use an oracle deck rather than a tarot deck. I'm going to use Secrets of the Mystic Grove.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
It's gorgeous. The artwork is really, really beautiful. The writing is a little slack. Author a pass.
I like that. And I've never heard of that oracle deck. How's about them apples?
It's brand new. It's a U.S. Games product. It's brand new. Here's the guidebook. It's not a little white book. It is a guidebook. And you can see it's Mary Elaine Thomas is the artist, and some poser is the
You're
writer.
the writer.
Right. Can I show it to you any closer?
That's
That makes sense. So, like, the writing is a little flat, and I'm like, oh shit.
all right. Like,
Just cut
wow.
someone
Wow. And I even had a moment because you held it up and then you said the writer was flat. I was like, oh shit, that's not hers. And then I was like, of course she's gonna use that one. And then again, you said the writing is flat, and I was like, oh. I was having more. I was like, shit, should I go research which deck is hers? Because I thought that was it. You had me for a little
I don't
moment,
have a clue.
a little bit.
I'm gonna read with the Tarot of Dreams because I just got this baby, so I'm bringing
Ooh, show it.
Ooh,
Ooh, ah,
Marchetti.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm reading with Sun
Yes.
and Moon because I only opened it the other day, and I'm like, I'm not going to do an unboxing of this one. So I just opened it. And I'm like, oh, you're so cute. And now I have to know if you read well. And so
Why not now live?
Okay, so
I'm
if
taking it for a spin. It's its maiden voyage.
so if you guys have a question and want us to answer it via the cards, all caps in the
All caps, please.
All caps.
Fire away. Fire away.
Hit me with your best shot.
Get See, like literally, there was Sundays are all about. So my family is a little mafia-esque in this sense. So we have family dinner every single Sunday, and every member of the family will be at family dinner unless you are dead. That's the only excuse you have not to be there. And so for Father's Day, we went out to eat. And in the restaurant that we were in, this is how nerdy my whole entire family is. And so they had the best playlist of 80s music ever. And so that song came on, and my mom and I at the same time were like, and so we had ourselves a little show in the middle of the restaurant because we don't really care for other people's opinions. And so it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah,
Best
they're not in your
bonding
hula hoop.
experience with my own ma. It was fun.
I like it.
Why am I getting so many moths visiting me? Is that a real question?
I'll read for that. I
Right.
love. Actually, you know what? You've got animal totem stuff going on there. Well, why don't you pull a little card for that one? Seems a bit
All right.
appropriate.
All right. You got me. Okay. Yo, I have to tell you, I love this deck. This is going back to my roots right here. This is good stuff. I'm all about it. All about it. All right, what do we have? Oh, okay. Well, it starts with an M. It's a moose. So,
It's a
it's a moose. So moose is all about self-esteem. So moose is part of my totem. He guards the masculine side of me, and it is a reminder to always be proud. And going back a little bit, to Moose. So the story of Moose kind of goes something like this. So Moose walks through the forest, and everybody knows when Moose is there. You know, Moose is never silent. Moose is always calling out, and in his calling out, and he doesn't come from a boastful place. Maybe a little bit boastful place, but in the majority of what he does is comes from a very humble place. But he's just so excited to be alive and to be a moose. He is like, Moose is just the proudest animal ever. He wakes up every day and he jumps up and he's like, damn it, I'm a moose and I'm fucking amazing because I'm a moose. And so he goes through and he walks next to Squirrel and he's like, hey, Squirrel, still a moose? And Squirrel's like, we fucking know you're a moose. We got it. Thank you. And he walks next to Owl and he's like, still a moose? And Owl's like, we know you're a moose, bro. We got you. He's just so proud of, who he is and what he is. And what that has to do with moths, I have no freaking idea, but that's what came to me. So, Moose.
Well, if you think about it, moths are symbolic of transformation and death. And so maybe it has something to do with letting go of an old pattern of thinking about how you view yourself, and maybe being kinder to yourself.
Maybe Moose and Squirrel. See, somebody got my Moose and Squirrel reference. Moose. Somebody.
I like it. I pulled a little card. I pulled a little Four of Pentacles here, and Four of Pentacles tends to hold a little miser energy in amongst it, and sometimes that can mean like the withholding of resources to a degree, and that could actually translate back into being alone, being with oneself, or wanting to be with oneself, wanting to be with one's own, within one's own comfortable environment. The moth is also a creature of the night, and therefore this could be the fact that you're needing to express yourself outwardly a little bit more, coupled with the moose strutting its stuff. So maybe it's talking about turning that introverted, energy that you've got going on at the moment into much more extroverted energy in order to create a bit of a catalyst for transformation for yourself as well. Allorah was saying something about transformation, and I agree. That's one of the medicines of moth as far as I know. But I am where I live here, we get lots of moths in the evening. We get beautiful moths. We get birdwing moths, like that are as big as your head. And they all come at a particular time, and it's during the darkness we see more of it. So now we're in this, winter period here, despite the fact that it's not very cold up here. We see a lot more moth inside the house. And so I see them inside my home. I see them when I'm cozied under a blanket, and I know that they're here because they too are seeking some kind of, like, I wouldn't exactly use the word refuge, but they're seeking some kind of withdrawal. They're seeking some kind of safety. They're seeking a little patch in which to nestle and snuggle into and just stay away from the harshness of the world at the moment, the harshness of the environment. And so that could be that withdrawing of energy. And with moose, like I said, it could be the necessity to actually step outside to create a catalyst, particularly if you've got any projects on the go, because pentacles are resources. Chances are you've got some things on the go or some things that you want to action as well. And so stepping out, strutting your stuff a little bit more, and even sometimes listening to the wisdom of the night. That's another moth thing. That's all I got.
So, well, we have another totem question. So this is from Althena, who says, what totem is working with me now? Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, you have hit right into my sweet spot. So, let's talk about this. So, what we got? Where is that question at?
Scroll up because the chat is going nuts.
It is going nuts. I love it though. Okay. It helps me if I physically see it. Okay, so let's talk about this. I feel very dialed in right now. I'm so in my element. I'm so freaking excited. Thank you for this question. So freaking excited. Can't stand it. All right. So I'm going to tell you I have a very specific animal in my head right away, and I want to see it confirmed. No, it was not confirmed. It's something completely different. Okay, so what I have pulled for you is snake, and it's a beautiful, beautiful animal to behold. Even before I tell you sort of the medicine that is snake, let's talk about sort of the reputation of snake. So so people are afraid of snakes, and you know, me personally, I'm terrified of them. I have nightmares about them. They move without legs, and they're of the devil, and I hate them. But you know, but they have such a place in you know, in the balance of nature. They are what eats, you know, the critters that, you know, infest houses, like mice and those kinds of things. And we can even see snake. We often see snake as far as like a metaphysical standpoint as the Ouroboros, you know, the circling of the snake eating itself. It's a very you know, getting into now the medicine that is snake. You know, it is a very transmutation sort of. The snake has mastered this sort of transmutive sort of medicine, in that it can shed its skin and it can become something new, and it has mastered it so much that you know, it can do it again and again and again. It doesn't have to it doesn't experience it one time. It experiences it multiple times. Every time that it needs to, it sheds the skin that it needs, and it is reborn into this.
Did we just lose connection?
Pretty, and it's beautiful. So to have snake with you is just a very, very beautiful thing. The lesson that we can the lesson that we can take from that is that it is okay to change when we need it, and it's okay to be in positions where, you know, we falter, because in faltering is lessons, and then we can learn and we can shed that skin, and then we can continue on our path. And I feel that very strongly. You know, anytime that I use these cards, if it's like a spot on, not that it's ever wrong for me, I truly believe it is never wrong, but I feel such a pulling from this card right now. This is onto the table, and I feel like this is it may have not resonated with you yet, but that may be because you know, maybe it's so funny because we don't think that things exist until it comes into our focus, into our personal space. It's kind of like when somebody says, hey, I'm gonna buy this particular card because nobody has it, and all of a sudden we're talking about it, and all of a sudden we see it everywhere. So maybe I feel very strongly that it's gonna be what it is for you now that your eyes are open to it. I think you're gonna see it pretty prevalent for you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so snake, because Chris actually brought this up in the chat. She says that snake reminds her of Kundalini energy, which is another thing. So in Native tradition, is snake associated with sensual, sexual energy, like in Kundalini?
No. I say that it can be, and in most traditions, no, but you know, at least in my tribe, no, but I do know that, you know, it's a huge fertility symbol for a lot of people, and I can't think off the top of my head any tribes that view it that way, but
Aboriginal tribes do.
Yes,
Australian Aboriginal tribes do. They have the rainbow serpent, so that's their greatest creative force.
Right.
So the rainbow serpent is like their ultimate deity.
Right.
This is fabulous. This is fabulous. We've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, we do. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, Mystic Crone, I believe she's next. Am I wrong? Right or wrong? Mystic Crone has asked, what is blocking me on my path right now? We've got our private chat. I encourage you to read the private chat.
Okay. So the question is, what is blocking my path right now? Right? Yeah. Arwen, do you want to lead this one off?
I will, because I was just focusing on that, and I have to tell you, what is blocking your path may not be what you want to hear, Mystic Crone, because what we pulled is tenacity, the badger. And the badger is self-determination. It is stubbornness. What's blocking your path may be your own stubborn holding on to things that you know aren't working for you, and you're not willing to give them up because, damn it, that's what a witch does. And it feels like you're locked into some things about what real witches do. And so you're trying to force yourself to fit into that round hole when you're really more of a triangle, baby, and you need to go off and do your own thing and follow your heart. So I think what's tripping you up right now and what's getting in your way are blocks that kind of, I have a blog post going up tomorrow talking about submerged self and emerged self. And it's like submerged self keeps throwing up blocks going, I don't want to go down that path, damn it. And you have to start honoring that and going down the path you want, regardless of what you're supposed to do. End of story.
End of story. Do you have a card, Avalon?
Oh my God. I've got the Four of Pentacles. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Sun and Moon Tarot. I see what you're doing. Oh my God, that's so funny. So I've already discussed a little bit of the traditional meanings for the Four of Pentacles, but in this particular case, in association with this particular question, I would say that it's easy to reach a plateau within spirituality where you do all the you do all the necessary things, and then you reach this plateau. It's a very firm plateau. It's a plateau of long-standing cultivation of experience and etc. etc. And at times we can hold on very tightly to that which we have cultivated, and without meaning to, we can just desist. We can desist. We can put the vibe out there that we're desisting from, from learning from anyone else. Like, I know that I myself, when I go through some really stupid phases in my life, I just think that I know everything. I think that I know everything. I don't need anyone's help, and I'm the best. I have this quiet competition. I have an overachieving mother, and it was drilled into me very young that you have to be the best at everything. And so that's something that it's a little shadow of mine that stays with me from time to time. But, in every situation, I'm the best. I covet the best. And if I'm not the best, then I don't want your help, and it's a very easy place to be in, where you can, you feel like you have all the resources necessary, but at the same time, you don't have the resources necessary, nor are you willing to take on extra resources, from any avenue to assist in the evolution, to further evolution. So what I would say is very much to open yourself up at this point in time and allow yourself to receive information, allow yourself to receive assistance, allow yourself to receive direction. Just open yourself wide up and see how the signs in your life play out at this moment in time. And I'm a big signs person. I think that reading your environment is paramount to how you will, the successes of your day to day. I'm a big sign reader. And I find that when I am experiencing a bit of resistance, and when I'm a bit, taking a bit too much of a hard stance, so to speak, I then open myself up to more universal energy, and I start to get those beautiful signs. Those synchronicities start to make themselves known to me. And before long, I'm learning and I'm following leads, and I'm expanding and I'm growing. And, and that's something that I need from time to time. But I'm also an earth sign, so I'm a stubborn motherfucker. So I need hard pushes from time to time. And I find that if I'm sitting in a stuck position and I see the Four of Pentacles, then I know that in that case, I'm generally the asshole. So it's not nice. It's not nice, but.
So to add with what everybody else is saying, so and I'm trying to approach this from a very because this is very bizarre shit, that if you guys saw the card that I just held up. So I was shuffling my deck, and I dropped part of the deck, and the card that came up was Badger, and I was like, well, that's weird. So I reshuffled my cards, and I drew, I kid you the fuck not, this is what I drew. And so there's obviously a huge lesson that is moving through your life right now that you need to pay attention to. And, going along with what Arwen said, Badger is a very aggressive creature, and that can be both good and that can both be bad. Maybe it's time for you to look at kind of where the energy lies, what side it's on, and how you can shift that into the middle. The good thing about Badger is that not a lot of things kill it. You know, like it is a very strong, and that is why it can be aggressive and literally not give a shit. If that's a quote that you remember from a couple years ago, honey badgers just don't give a shit. And so again, maybe this is time Badger is telling you that, hey, we can be aggressive, we can tackle, you know, whatever it is that we need to tackle, but we need to find a way that that doesn't affect anyone else. It's time to be aggressive internally and figure out where our struggles are. And Badger is doing some things for you, and Badger's about to move through you, and he's gonna move through like a bulldozer. I feel that very, very strongly for you.
So super interesting. So 2 cards came out for me for this, and this is the first time I'm reading with this deck, so this is super interesting. Well, one of the first times. So the card that popped out first was the Tree of Life, and Chase is gonna love this card because it's the Tree of Life. But interestingly enough, so what I got off of this card, if you look at it, so I don't know if you can see it, but it's numbered 1, 2, 3, and it goes all the way down. But I feel like if you look at this card, you can automatically go straight down to the end. So maybe you're tripping yourself up by going in all these different directions when really you could just go straight. And so then another card flipped out, and I was like, okay, so this makes total sense. So then the moon flipped out, which is a friggin' stunning card. But from this, with this, it kind of gave me the impression that maybe you need to look in places that aren't necessarily your go-to places for what it is you're trying to accomplish. Because the moon talks about revealing hidden things. And so, and looking in those nooks and crannies and crevices and the places that you're scared to go to, and that you don't normally seek out. And also, I would say, you know, the path of least resistance, look for that instead of trying to do 550 bajillion things at once. Just narrow your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What is our next question?
I know Arwen has Arwen pulled for this one.
Oh, just kidding. Yeah, it was Badger. But I also pulled Badger, which I thought was pretty.
So I had to get up at one point. Every 11 minutes I have to get up and change baby Jake for my daughter right now, who's being babysat by the TV because I'm a terrible mother.
So what we got on the table?
Finn Roulette, I think, should I leave my job and pursue witching and being an herbalist, etc. full time is what Avalon posted.
Yep. So should Fen leave? Oh yeah. Pursue witching and being a herbalist, etc. full time. Yeah. That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of the dream, right?
Yeah.
What did you pull? You seem to have something good over there.
Well, the key words are trust the journey, unexpected, and secrets. It's celebrate mystery. So that would say to me, because in my head, I was thinking, good God, no. I'm 56, y'all, so I'm pretty practical about it. Hell no, you don't want to leave your job. Keep your job, add the other stuff on. But the cards are kind of like smacking me in the head. And she is trusting the journey, and she is off on a journey, this young woman. So, moths everywhere. That's actually, this deck has a lot of moths, so that's not, it's not as crazy as it might seem. But, you know, there's a flamingo here. There's poppies in this. There's the cheetah walking beside her. It sounds like you could absolutely take that jump, but Mama Arwen says, please be careful. Make sure you've got a savings and you've got something to fall back on. Okay, I'm done. That's when I get in my own way.
Love it. Who's next?
reshuffle because I just pulled the Four of Pentacles again.
Oh my God, shut the front door.
That's why I'm like, look at this card. And so I've decided that the Four of Pentacles is for me. That's mine. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah,
That's 3 in a row.
What resources you're thinking aren't there that are there, and you need to stop thinking in paucity and pauper mode and start thinking in big mode.
Shipping.
Yeah. Into big. Well, I'm on the verge of releasing my tarot deck. People, can you see where this is going?
You're having a little bit of stress.
No, I wouldn't say stress. I would say hesitation. I need someone with a fine-tooth comb to come in and go, okay, everything's in order. Everything's been written effectively.
Okay.
All the loopholes have been blocked.
Chase is dying over there.
I don't know if you could say dying, but I did draw a card. So what I drew is a hummingbird. Actually, no, I guess I'd be accurate because anytime I get to read with this deck, I just want to talk about it and read with it. So that's probably pretty accurate. So hummingbird. So we have a very small animal packed with a whole lot of joy. So the thing that makes hummingbird the happiest is the fact that hummingbird can literally not like sit still, for lack of a better phrase. Like the way that hummingbird is designed, it just can't do that. So, and hummingbird is so good at what it does. It's a very good pollinator. And so for me, I'm also getting sort of a yes from that, but I also have hesitations personally. So I'm going to keep my reading short too, just like Arwen did, because like my immediate reaction is like, I don't know that you should do that. But I mean, this card is incredibly positive in that regard, and it is full of joy. And you know, the movement that is shown in this card says that yes, that is something that you could do, but you also have to ask yourself, because hummingbird is also very fragile. It can be easily hurt, and so you have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? But definitely the card says yeah.
Okay. And the card that fell out for me when thinking about this is the, whoa, it flew across the room.
Not the one.
5 of Swords. Check it out. Cool card. So the answer, or I don't know if this is what you want to hear, but yeah, it's possible for you to do this. But there's going to have to be a sacrifice, and you're going to have to wrap your brain around the fact that it is going to be difficult and it's going to take work, and more mental, like mental gymnastics, if you will. Because I think you're going to get all up in your head about it. But just know that, yes, you can do it, but it's going to require a sacrifice of some sort. So just be prepared. That's what I would tell you.
I got one. I just about panicked because they look a little bit similar, but it's the 6 of Pentacles. So I'm right in the Pentacles with this deck here, talking to me about resources right now. And that's collaborations. 6 of Pentacles can be seen as a charity card, in which case you're going to need to be prepared to accept assistance, outside assistance. And if you're a prideful type of individual, then that might end up in some kind of conflict for you. But again, open yourself up. Resources are going to need to come from left, right, and center for the manifestation of this particular dream. And that is going to mean that you're going to have to go out of your comfort zone and ask for assistance, you know, where you might not have thought that you had to collaborate with others. So that means in partnership, and to share some of your vision, and to just accept help whenever it's handed to you in a way, and be very, very humble about this process, because, you know, it's work, it's toil, it's you know, it's one of those situations whenever you're trying to cultivate a business, it's something that takes a lot of hard work, and it surprises you what you have to do and what you have to accept, and, you know, the pathways that you have to take when you're doing this, especially when you're going into work for yourself. I can say this personally because I'm a person that works for myself, and it's a lot harder than meets the eye, and there's a lot more paperwork than anyone would ever like to admit. But you know, be prepared to open up to those, you know, to those opportunities that come your way. Even if you think that they're not grand opportunities, be prepared to accept help in whichever form that they come. And you know, and if that be charity, if that be somebody giving you something for free, then, you know, take it. You know, there's no shame in that. So that's it.
Did everybody pull a card?
Yep, we pulled.
All right, so we skipped a question from Divine. She has asked how her daughter Judith is going to be.
Going to be.
I am going to, if you guys want to do it, that's totally fine. But that's something that I don't do. Like I won't do it.
That was kind of me too, and I didn't want to be like the negative one in the panel, but I'm also.
No, it's not negative. It's just something that I don't do. Like it's nothing negative. It's just
right.
Yeah.
Divine, if you're asking how it's going to be between you and your daughter, I think what we're all saying is that we can read for you. But it's an ethics question for me, and I won't read third party. So if you're asking, you know, is your daughter going to be safe or whatever, I would have to have her here for me to be able to do that reading.
And you said it more eloquently than I ever could have said it, but exactly right.
I've been having to say it since 1985, when I first realized I was spying on people when I did a third-party reading, and it was crappy. So I've had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a health
having
question.
to be a parent.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was decided? Sorry.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We had Divine ask a question about her daughter, and I am not comfortable answering it without her present, and I think that was the consensus that we came up with Arwen and
Third-party readings. Yeah. No, third-party readings are a thing. Yeah. Okay, so who are we up to? Is this Tori?
Let's see. Where are we? Whew.
Wait. Is it
Hilma?
What was that one?
The spirit animal was identified as unicorn.
Ah, what was that?
I'm
That's right.
looking in our chat because I copied.
Oh. Genius.
That was Avalon's video. It's all her.
Can the universe confirm? Yeah, that one actually. You know what? I won't lie. That made me laugh.
Yeah, I did laugh at that one.
I'm a unicorn.
I can understand why you wouldn't be comfortable with that.
Yeah, right.
But I love it.
Right.
Yep. Mm.
Ooh, can I do a basket?
Okay.
Oh yeah, do a basket for show.
Do a basket. And Chase,
Yes.
can you do that? Like, you know, can you, as our totem animal specialist?
Point me in the direction of the question. I read it.
So in our chat, so in our screen, go up to the on your little left-hand side at the very top, little blue box with the white lines. Click on that, and then you'll see a little chat stream pop up on your right-hand side.
Okay. And then which one is it? Spirit animal was identified for me as unicorn. Is that right?
Yep. Hilma.
Yeah.
Yes, got it. I am not comfortable with the concept. Can the universe confirm my spirit animal is a unicorn? Thank you guys. Rock big time. Okay, so I can already tell you that I don't ever include the unicorn as a totem animal. So what I'm going to pull for you is going to be completely different, and I do want to pull something different for you because I do want it to be something that is, if this is going to make sense for you, Taurusy in nature, that's more grounded and has some real life application, is what I want to do for you right now. So let's see. Ooh. Speak of, this is about as anti-real life as you can get for real life applications. So what I drew for you is the Raven. So Raven is a really good animal to have. It is a guardian of sacred law. It is sort of this animal that flies through the void, and it not only flies through the void, but it flies through effortlessly and without fear. And because of just the way that he is built and the way that you know the medicine is surrounding Raven, and it's a good lesson to always be reminded that even though we are you know, the intuitive people that we are, it is good to have a grounding somewhere. So in that regard, it is super grounding. We can't, because when a bird loses its feathers, and this goes beyond Raven, where is the place that it falls? To earth. So it's always grounded in that respect and in that regard. And trying to listen really, really carefully here. Raven has a lot of different applications as far as, you know, how religions and beliefs and myths have used Raven, and it always is surrounded by messages, and it always is surrounded by states of being, whether it's a message of somebody passing or somebody arriving or something in that regard. So anytime the Raven comes to you, it is about a message that is coming to you. It's about a message of, you know, something is moving through your life and something is coming, and the only way that we can properly deal with that is by giving it our full undivided attention. So so is Raven going to be showing you some things soon? Yeah, I absolutely think so. And again, it's another one of those circumstances where maybe that wasn't an animal that, you know, necessarily grooved with you before, but again, once we open our eyes to it, once we open our eyes to, I keep saying it, but truly, once we open our eyes to what the animals can tell us, it's amazing the messages that we can get, and you know, the things that they leave us when, you know, a feather falls to earth. You know, it's not, for me, and now I'm getting super metaphysical, but you know, it's not just a feather that's landed. It's a reminder to, even though the creature that flies, we always are drawn back to the same place because of the forces that we have here on Earth, known as gravity. You know, it always grounds us into the same place. We all come from the same place, and to the same place we will return when it's all over. Yes, you do.
Do you want me to go next?
Go next.
Okay, so what I was doing was something called a basket. So this is a spread. I guess you would call it a spread. I don't know what the hell you call it. But anyways, I've never seen it in any book, anything like that. And it was handed down to me by my mom. And I like to call it like the magic 8-ball, or the yes or no, because if you're looking for a yes or no, generally you'll get a yes or no. And I've been working with this spread my whole life, so I can kind of, even though I'm looking for a yes or no, I can kind of give you reasons why behind it, and so forth and so on. So actually what came up in this is, yes, the unicorn is your animal, but however, comma, there are more animals coming for you, I would say. And because one of the cards that came up in the basket, that's like the bottom card, which is very significant, is the 7 of Cups. So you've got like lots of options going on here. So unicorn isn't the only one that's going to come to you. So just be prepared. And there's also lots of swords, which tell me they're going to be coming rapidly, and swords move pretty quick. I mean, they're the fastest moving suit in the deck. So just be ready. You're going to start getting hit with a bunch of different animals, and they all have something to contribute to your life. They all have a specific thing that you need from them. So that's what I would say. And I would be careful, because the devil is also in this basket. I would say to you, don't get fixated on having one totem or one power animal or one anything, because the devil is significant in that you can get obsessive about one animal being the end all be all for you. And I don't see that as what's going to happen and what's coming to you. So just be prepared for that. So that's what I got. Arwen?
I pulled the card confidence, pride, poise, and assurance. And the animal in it is significant for me because it's the peacock. And the peacock is about owning your own brilliance and seeing things with a lot of different eyes. The story behind the peacock is that the peacock was spying, was a person called Argus, and they were spying on Juno's husband, Jupiter, who was a bit of a man slut, and Jupiter cursed Argus, and Juno, or Hera and Zeus, if you will, this is the Greek and Roman sides, she intervened enough to create Argus with many eyes. And that's why the peacock is considered a watchbird, because of the eyes of the feathers. So I agree that you need to keep watching and keep looking. But when I saw poise and confidence, I thought, yeah, unicorn, absolutely. And it's a weird spirit animal, Hilma, you're right. But think of it as the unicorn is that like that eternal hope for some people. It's that eternal, for some people, it's the pot of gold, right? So maybe that's what that is. It's your hope showing up as your spirit animal. And what Allorah said, you've got more than one. People tend to get fixated and they want only one. Like when I wanted the whale. I did. I wanted the whale. I got a dragonfly as one of my primaries. So kind of different. So that's it.
But the lesson in that too is that, I think the lesson that Dragonfly brings is way more applicable and stronger than, what whale brings. Dragonflies can see through illusions and, create them themselves. And, again, kind of like the hummingbird can zip through anything that it needs to and wants to, and flitters here and there. And the whale is, doesn't move that fast. And whale has a lot of knowledge, absolutely, but it lives out into this big empty space that it can call to its own. But that's it. Again, the dragonfly can go wherever it wants to.
Okay, guys. So we have so many questions. We're definitely going to have to put a cap on this because there's no way we're going to get to them all. So do you guys want to do like one or two more, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, let's cap it at 2 because I do have to go to bed at some point. I have to be up in like 5 hours. So
5 hours.
So what do we got next?
So the next one is Erica. I feel drained, spiritually drained. What direction should I head?
Spiritually drained. What direction, hey? You know what? This tarot deck is broken.
What did you get?
I got the 6 of Pentacles.
Oh, no.
That is hilarious.
So I've got the 4 of Pentacles 3 times and the 6 of Pentacles twice. So obviously you're broken. This is, you know what this tells me? And this is legit. I'm not just being silly. This tells me that this particular deck wants to work with me on a very personal level. And so I shall retire it for the now and grab something that has a little bit more je ne sais quoi.
If it makes you feel any better, when I very first got the English Magic Tarot deck, I wanted to just like out of the box just start reading with it for other people, and so I just pulled it out, and then it turned out to be this whole, like, I did a reading, I did a prism spread, and then like the longer that I went into, I was about 4 cards into, and every card that I was talking about, like in the back of my mind, I was like, that's really personal. And so, and I kept, the person that I was reading for, was like, she's looking at me like, okay. And as I'm explaining the next card, as I finally got to card 5, and I was like, this isn't resonating with you at all, is it? She goes, yeah, no. And it was something, I'm not going to say what it was about. It was extremely personal. Like, I was delving into her life that was mine. And I had just, like, some stuff about me that I would rather not discuss. And so at card 5, I was like, and we're done. This is it. This is not for you. This is for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this has been a waste of your time. I apologize. Let us start over, please, with a different deck. So what happens? It happens. That card.
I've had that happen.
I get it.
Yeah, that deck is still just like my personal. I've not tried to. Oh, that's not true. I read it with a couple of times, but every time that I pull it out, it's always been like, hey, this is not for them. It's for you. So it's just now my personal reading deck. It's very raw with me. Go for it.
Okay, I'm excited about this, Erica, because the card I got is celebration, bliss, joy, delight. So you need to find your delight. You need to find your joy. You're getting drained because I think it feels like, okay, I'm just going to say it. It feels like you've got friends and a particular group. There's like 5 tight friends, and 3 of them are being real drainers right now because they may be having stuff in their life, and so they're kind of sucking the life out of you. And that's just a message I'm getting. But you could also put a Chinese pheasant on your head and go out for joy. Pheasant, and that's a very sacred bird for China. But she's a beautiful woman, but she is all about celebrating life as it is now, and not life as it used to be, and not life as it could be, but now, here and now, present. So look to those people who may be sucking you dry, and celebrate life. Follow your bliss, Joseph Campbell would say. End of transmission.
So I drew Spider, and I kind of interjected myself there because I wanted to continue on what Arwen was saying, because Spider is a weaver. Again, it doesn't weave simplistic kind of design. It's very intricate, and that is reaffirming what she just said. Spider weaves the web because that's what it knows to do, and that's what it likes to do, and that's how it catches its meal, and it doesn't just weave any web. It's this very shapely, beautiful, geometrical thing. And so it is reaffirming for me as well that you have to find that thing that you love to do. That thing is going to be tied to maybe a little bit of your life force. Maybe that's why you're feeling drained. You're not getting to do that thing that really invigorates you. And maybe I'm agreeing with Arwen on this as well. It really resonated with me too, that it's an outside source. What the message that I'm getting right now is that it's from the outside. It is nothing with you. And I think the reason you're feeling confused is because you feel like you're looking inward when you need to be looking outward, and finding those things that you need to use in Spider terms. Since I drew Spider, you need to let that thing fall into your web and then devour it, get rid of it. And then after you cut out all the external things that are doing this to you, then you can start to look inward and again find that thing of joy, the thing that is tied to you, that makes you and makes you happy.
Beautiful. I got the Prince of Cups. Yeah. And the Chimonier. And in keeping with what Chase just said about the weaving aspect, I find that the Prince of Cups is a deeply intuitive individual, and he's a dreamer. He actions. He's technically a knight, and I believe that all knight contain with them the ability to move, to create movement, the speed of which is determined by the element in which they are ruled by. And so there is an aspect of moving forward here through intuitive faculties, through intuitive perceptions. If you're feeling drained, then I would highly recommend looking to aspects of holism, medicine, and spirituality to assist you in unblocking anything that might be at the moment holding you down or making you feel depleted of your life force. This could also be a very practical card in that you need to hydrate effectively hydrate, you need to eat nourishing foods with a good dose of juicy nutrients in them, to incorporate water in your life in a way to cleanse from the inside out, to elevate your level of vibration through, through means that are very accessible, and to really start to listen to the voice of your intuition at the moment, because it's trying to tell you something. And more popcorn, mama, and more popcorn,
mama. And okay, so with what Arwen said, this card came up and I was like, holy shit, that's perfect, because it totally resonates. So this is the 8 of Swords, but the way Hero has done the artwork, I think you'll kind of get it. So if you look at it, she's in a bubble, and then there's 8 swords, and they're piercing the bubble, but she is facing the other way. So I feel like you are a non-confrontational person, and maybe you need to turn around and confront the swords that are piercing your energetic body. And as far as which direction to go, I would, with this card, it's about a state of stasis. So with the, seek the joys that you find what you're joyful about. That kind of takes of sitting still. So it's not something like go, 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 go. Definitely a mental thing again, with swords, but this card is definitely spot on with the whole, it's external, turn around, say something. Don't let people continually pierce your energy body over and over again. Make it stop.
All right, so we are on to our final question. Yes? Right? Okay, and that would be... was that the how I meant to use my voice? Was that
Snow orchid?
Oh, did I miss one?
Spirit animal this summer solstice.
What was the question?
What spirit animal should I work with this summer solstice?
I tell you what. Chase, why don't you pull? Huh?
I can do this.
I don't think I'll be able to read for this. I don't divine totems through tarot, so I'm out.
Let me pull this real quick, and then let's take one more after. I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay.
I can do that because I'm already there in my mind. So, and there's the card.
Sounds good.
All right. So, what I have drawn for you, and this was not the animal I thought it was, but this fits too. So beaver, and it's so funny that we talk about, this is an animal that builds, but the biggest medicine is that it is a builder, but it doesn't do it alone. So the biggest thing that I want you to take from this is that it is a time to connect with other people, and because to build something magnanimous like a dam, it takes more than just one person, and nobody builds, beavers don't just build a dam. Beavers are so freaking smart. They build trapdoors in their dam in case that, they get attacked or they need a quick way in or a quick way out. They build these trapdoors and these secret entrances and these tunnels and these amazing things. And beavers are so keen at defending themselves, not face to face. Their defense is on their butt. It's their tail. They can literally knock you out with the tails that they have. So in that too, I'll finish that with saying, don't feel like in any way that you are vulnerable because you turn your back on something in order to start building something else. It's okay to leave it behind because what you have is fortified and it's ready to be built onto, if that makes sense. Ta-da.
Beautiful. Okay, last one we're going to tackle. Lynch. Which creative path will open for me?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Indeed.
Yeah. Lynch, which creative path will open for me? Should we do some rephrasing? Like, should we make that a little okay?
Oh yeah. No? You got something.
That feels like a predictive question.
Yeah, I think it needs to be rephrased. Because I got a 9 of Wands jumped out of my deck, and it's kind of like, oh, creativity, let's play. I'm like, what?
Right. I think for time's sake, we could answer that. Not that I'm trying to cut anything short, but I do have to get up very shortly, and I'm running out of energy. Can we maybe skip that one to the next question? And if she wants, I will personally answer that for her tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, I'll give her a card though. Four of Swords. I would highly recommend that you take a rest and you decide for yourself exactly which direction you personally want to head in. And when you have clarity on that matter, when you have an understanding of exactly what it is that it's calling to you, even in the very seed of the beginning, the quintessence of the of the idea that's really calling you forth creatively, then I would suggest going to the cards again and looking a little bit deeper to see if that's going to be a fruitful endeavor in that regard. But yeah, definitely decide exactly what is in your sphere of consciousness at the moment, what's calling to you at the moment, and where your soul is pulling. So take a little rest, bubble bath, meditation, take a beat.
Yeah, I'm going to back Avalon up on this because I got release. So, yeah, absolutely. Let go, clear the decks, finish up some projects before you get going on some other ones. But letting go is the best answer that I got.
I like it.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so should we cut it there? Probably, because the lovely Arwen has to go. We're keeping her poor husband up. Yes, and I too have to be, as much as I hate, like, this is my favorite part, so I hate to cut it short, but I do have to be up very shortly, so.
We'll do a readings episode one day. We'll just throw one in there where we just like jump on and do nothing but readings. Like, let's just like make it rain.
Make it rain readings.
You don't even know about that phrase yet.
Yeah, you don't even know. You don't even know. Check out the shop and it'll all make sense to you.
Yeah.
Go out and check. That's a good place to round this up at. So make sure to go out. Everything that we discussed today, remember all these wonderful, amazing things that we're coming out with right now. And we want it, again, to be super community driven. So please go out and leave us feedback too. If there's something that you want to see, again, this is all for you. So if there's something that you want to see or something that you want to see a little different or, anything like that, please do let us know and let us keep this community driven for you guys. And do not forget as well, Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are doing our first STW special. We will be talking about ethical tarot. So I hope to see you guys there. And I think that is a wrap.
That's exactly right. Just a quick one on the ethical tarot. That will be hosted on my channel, Avalon Spiritual Odyssey, on my channel. And I would highly encourage anyone who has experiences with unethical tarot behavior to please be present, to share your grievances in a healthy, respectful, controlled manner. I do not want this to get out of control. The subject of ethics is really one that is quite serious and deserves a lot of respect and attention. And so we are going to try to disassemble some of the major issues that have been cropping up for us individually as practitioners of tarot, and also collectively in the community as we've seen it, as well as provide you with healthy resources to utilize to find an ethical tarot reader, to determine who might not be an ethical tarot reader, and just a few things to think about and look for to assist you in in accessing help through tarot that is trustworthy and that is sacred, essentially. So let's just be there for that one. Let's just be there for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Avalon. I am sending loving energy your way, as well as all of my co-hosts, my wonderful, wonderful co-hosts. One more time for Avalon and Allorah, and our very special, amazing guest, Arwen. Loving energy your way. We all love you very much, and we hope to see you on Wednesday. Love you. Bye.